Hello, I'm Adam and this is my vlog. Well, only a few things happened this week. One, I got to put money down on some dating websites to see if I can find someone to go out with, because I'm really tired of being alone. Another thing I did was, personal accomplishment was finally having my coat finished. Though there's still some work to be done. It's a nice big coat here. It holds all my basic stuff and has extra pockets to spare. I still have a hole in one of my pockets, but I've been using that to get inside my coat so I can sew the excess stuff that I need to. For example, I got one pocket here and I got the other pocket here as just the one I made. So I got two pockets inside my jacket. There's some more on the outside, and I'm actually impressed. The only problem with this jacket and its pockets are the pockets are not placed properly in relation to my body, where in my movement it does have a little bit of getting in the way. So in the other jacket, which I need to actually make from scratch, which actually not particularly from scratch, I don't have to weave the cloth and the fibers and plant directly. I can buy the cloth. But I get to position the pockets so they don't have that issue, where they get to be a little bit higher. And the outside pockets are just fine. At which point I can keep the length of this existing jacket, which is nice, though technically it's a bit long, but I can work with it, or I can make it smaller, because the outside pockets are bigger than I need. So I get to get this basic blueprint, I get to change the material, I get to change everything else. I mean, the collar doesn't need to be actual leather, which is kind of neat. I found a $10 jacket with actual leather. I mean, the leather itself is $10. Well, actually no, but you know, it's a good jacket. It's made of corduroy. Has most of the stuff I needed. I need to add a few things, like this little thing here for my watch, which hangs. Yeah, that's just my jacket. I got to actually clean my room this week, which is good because it needed to be cleaned. Now I have more space. I also got to sort a lot of other things, where now I have more magnetic wire from stuff I salvage, which magnetic wire is expensive, and getting it for free is always a nicer option. So I might actually get to make better motors. So came to me last night that I can probably get a axle directly from Home Depot that is made directly for stuff like that, or perhaps I can get a square, well, let's say a square bar, where I can put stuff on top and bottom. Smaller than this, of course. This is just a wooden knife I made a long time ago. I didn't put the teeth on it like it's supposed to for a real wooden knife, so this is nothing more than a knife you can stab with blood grooves. But you know, but the whole point is that you get a peg. Has stuff around here. You put little round bearings in the peg so it can spin on an axle, so it can rotate and have torque. So I'll be able to make my motor series to get that to work. I'm also working on this other project, which is an HHO generator. And for the HHO generator, you get a jar. Usually people have mason jars and make it from scratch, but I found this jar at Goodwill a long time ago, which is pretty much a mason jar. This was actually some sort of product, but you know, I found a cap that goes with it at the store itself, which is amazing because it doesn't have caps that go with it. And I also have this, which is just the jar from jelly jam. The lid is it doesn't come with the jelly jam; it comes from something else. But the idea is to have non-conductive material, so when you put the connections through it for the wires, it will pretty much through electrolysis make HHO gas, which is pretty much just hydrogen and oxygen and hydrogen, which you know is basic compounds from water. And it is burnable. You put it directly into your intake of the air inside your the intake valve that your car uses for air for its gas production and mixture. So it will accelerate and you have better gas mileage. Of course, all you're really doing is just putting more gas into the car, just from water that you have. And I ran across a few more things recently. One was a dry cell concept, which was this is just a container for water, or you make a container for water using other stuff, which looks actually a lot better to do. But they don't do this directly for cars. But, it talks about the safety problems and making sure nothing explodes inside this and makes the jar shatter, which is a good idea. So get to look about that, and so we get our basic components there, which is our dry cell. Water goes through the dry cell, which is held together with gaskets, and there's no outside current. It just gets connected outside. A guy made a series of plates with the one connection on one right side and one connection on the other side, which they stick out and solder those together or whatever. I'm not quite sure how he connected them. And you have your outside gaskets, at which point you have your inside cell, which is where your water flows through, and the gas comes out the one end, and water goes in the other end. As it moves through, the electrons go through more fluidly, and it makes more gas and more efficient, which is the better point of the dry cell. Problem is with the dry cell, I'm also looking at, because I'm trying to put this inside a vehicle. The only problem with it is that it is on the outside and it could short out on the vehicle itself, which when a secondary rubber gasket around the dry cell would prevent that issue, which is not that hard to do. Because, if you're making the dry cell from scratch, it's easy. Problem is, I don't have power tools to do that, and I'd have to have them machined elsewhere, which I don't have a machine shop, and I don't know anybody who does. So looking for somebody who has that capacity is one thing I need to do to actually make a dry cell. Where a wet cell would be a lot easier to do. It's nothing from getting a bunch of wire, wrapping it around certain ways, or doing washer plates, which is the easiest thing to do from what I've been able to see on YouTube. The last thing for HHO generator is, for a car at least, is getting an electronic component, so it will work properly. Here's the basic concept of that. So you have your generator, you have your bubbler, which bubbler is a secondary object to make sure the cell here does not explode, which is a good idea. I ran across that thing on YouTube, which is your bubbler has a cat thing that when it does explode, it pops open and the gas escapes, and you do not blow up your container, which is the secondary thing. Should be best to attach. But I haven't figured out how to do that directly. I just have the blueprints for it, so I can make it. Problem is making it, because most things I've seen are in scale for sizes of trucks, vans, and RVs. And mine's a little Honda Civic, so it doesn't have that much space. Aside from that, I have nothing else to report. Bye.